Few academic fields cannot benefit from interdisciplinary work. This may be especially true of social science, which straddles the line between humanities and STEM fields, and linguistics is certainly a social science. In the past, much of what consisted of linguistics was in the field of philology, which looks at history and in particular literature to derive knowledge and, now linguistic understanding. It can come from psychology and neurology and biology and physics and really anywhere. However, this goes both ways, and even just looking at the example of modern genetics, we can see how it's benefited greatly from linguistics. As discussed in a previous video, which you can look at over here, linguistics overlaps with anthropology and other historical studies of humans all the time by simply comparing languages to each other. This is sometimes good and sometimes, not necessarily bad, but not so good. It can be manipulated and stretched very easily. Before the field of linguistics had fully developed, some people had tried to make claims like Germans had settled in Ethiopia, and another was that at the time this was written, people believed that Norwegians settled in North America, which actually was later found to be true, but the reason why this is wrong was because it was assessed by simply looking at a few key points of vocabulary, and any two languages will have a few words that happen to look similar and have similar-ish meanings, but usually this is totally random. However, this is not always going to be the case. Advancements in both fields of linguistics and anthropology now make these approaches a lot more trustworthy than back in those days, and this has led to both supporting the other at times. For instance, the native inhabitants of Madagascar, the Malagasy people, have been shown through genetic testing to be descended, at least in some part, to Austronesian peoples of Oceania. Moreover, the language, which is also called Malagasy, is an Austronesian language. Both of these facts support the hypothesis that a significant portion of the ancestry of native Malagasy people sailed across the Indian Ocean from Pacific Islands, and both linguistics and modern genetics corroborate the claim. Likewise, other genetic evidence about early humans having migrated, such as the theory of wave migration out of Africa to the island of New Guinea before other groups had moved into Eurasia even, often has primarily or successive linguistic studies to back up earlier genetic claims. However, there is a limit to this relationship between linguistics and anthropological, genetic, or other fields of science in their studies. As mentioned in a previous video, which you can find in a link below, it is still contested whether or not the speakers of all Indo-European languages today and their ancestors, that is to say the speakers of proto-indo-European, originated in the Pontic-Caspian steppe or in the Ukrainian steppe or in Anatolia. Anthropological evidence points towards the original speakers living in the Pontic-Caspian steppe based on not only its centrality, but also its technological innovations, with the people in that region having horse riding and other weaponry that's more advanced and better for spreading around. And most people do agree on this theory, and there is even a people group associated with that people who are anthropologists have sort of invented for this theory. However, linguistics tends to back the idea that it was from Anatolia, with evidence from cuneiform samples pointing to Anatolia as the source of some of the earliest Indo-European works of not only writing but just speech in general. And given that it's heavily influenced proto-kartvelian, a language family that's now spoken in Georgia, the Pontic-Caspian theory would not really account for this, and so there is now a split between what anthropologists and archaeologists think and what linguists think. Either way, it's usually a better thing to have more evidence than less, so even when there is something of a contradiction, it usually spurs intellectual innovation. No one field is totally divorced from another, and especially something like linguistic research, which can range from looking through individual books to looking at chemistry of the brain, there will inevitably be connections somewhere else. If you agree that large-scale research across disciplines is important, consider sharing this video, as linguistics doesn't just have to be for linguists. There are More videos coming soon, and if you'd like to preview what the next 4 topics will be, head over to the Patreon, where these will be posted for you to take a look. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, and you will get access to my personal word theories and new podcasts on theoretical aspects of what linguistics could look like now. Furthermore, I'd like to thank you for watching.